Thank you for your interest in this Geotech Center demonstration video on basic database management with Python. My name is Wing Cheong, and I'm a professor of geography and GIS at Palomar College. In this video, you'll learn how to install the Python interactive development environment through ArcGIS Pro, then use the Python scripting language to create a new geodatabase, copy feature classes into that new geodatabase, modified the schema of the geodatabase, and also learn how to back up your geodatabase. If you wish to follow along the demonstration, please download and unzip this file to your storage device before viewing demonstration. Keep in mind that this web address is case sensitive. To provide you with a little context, let's say your coworker at the city has created a file geodatabase called placed.gdb that contains one museum's point feature class. This feature class shows the location of some of the museums within San Diego's Balboa Park. Now your manager has asked you to write a Python script that will allow you to make changes to the database schema and also back up the database on a daily basis. Before we can get started, we need to first install the interactive development environment. In this case, we'll be using the Spider interactive development environment. To do this, you'll need to open ArcGIS Pro on your computer, then go to Projects, and go to Python, and go to Add Package, and this is where you will search for Spider. So you're going to want to type in Spider here. It's not showing anything for me because I've already installed the package on my computer. A second package that you also want to install is the Spider app. So SPYDER -app. Again, it's not showing anything for me because I already installed that package. You can check to see what packages are installed already on your computer by going to Installed Packages. And you'll see that here I have Spider and also the Spider app installed. Once you have finished installing the Python interactive development environment, I will highly recommend that you create a desktop shortcut to Spider, because right now the executable is quite difficult to find. So to do this, you'll first need to find where ArcGIS Pro is installed on your computer. In my case, it's at this location. And within the Pro folder, you'll find a bin folder, and within it, you'll find a Python folder, and this envs folder, and this other folder, and then the scripts folder. And within that, you'll find the executable for Spider. And right-click on that and choose Send to Desktop to create a desktop shortcut to this interactive development environment. In the second part of this demonstration video, we're going to learn how to create a geodatabase using Python now that we have installed the development environment on our computer. Before we do that, first create a folder in your workspace. In my case, and this has implications for the following demonstration as well, so you may want to just do this also. You may want to create a folder in your C drive called Python. So once you have done that, we'll go and open Spider. This is what you'll see once you have opened Spider on your computer. To start, we'll start with a new script. Go to File and click on New File. And you can see it allows us to type in a series of commands. So rather than have you watch me type all the commands, I'm going to copy and paste the codes that I have already written out, and I'll explain them briefly. Meanwhile, you should type them in your environment. So here we're importing the argpy library, which allow us to access the various tools that we'll need for this demo by going through ArcGIS Pro. And here we're creating a variable called gdb_path at this location, right? You may recall this is the folder that I asked you to create. And here we're creating a variable called gdb_name, and this will be the value associated with that variable. And you can see here we're using the create file gdb tool and specifying, right, what is the geodatabase, what is the location that we want to put, right, this new file geodatabase that we're creating, and also the name to assign to it. And this last line here is basically what we will see once the command has been completed. So to proceed, we'll save this. So click Save. And I'm going to save it as, let's see here, part 2, and hit Save. Once that is saved, you can go to Run. And here in the console, you can see once that's complete, right, we get this message, and we can hit any key to continue in the console. Keep in mind that we have just created a new file geodatabase using this command or this tool, right? And the name of this file geodatabase is places backup. So if you go back to ArcGIS Pro, as you can see here, and connect to that Python folder that we created in the C drive, you should now see a new file geodatabase called placesbackup.gdb. And if you don't see it, you may want to right-click on the Python folder and hit refresh, and you should be able to see the file geodatabase. And you can see that there's currently nothing in there because we just created the file geodatabase. In this next part, we're going to copy the museum's feature class from the places geodatabase that your coworker gave you and that you downloaded and unzipped already. So as you can see here, right, maybe in your downloads folder or wherever you saved the file that you downloaded for this demonstration video, you should see that there is a folder called places.gdb and then the date and time in which you downloaded it. And inside that folder, which you get from unzipping the file that you downloaded, there's a places.gdb folder. So before we proceed, make sure you copy this places.gdb folder into your Python folder that we just created in the last part. So as you can see on my screen now, right, if we look at this Python folder in the C drive, right, which I created in the last part of this demonstration video, I should now have this placesbackup.gdb, right, which if I open, right, there are all these files in there, but there are really no feature classes. And then there's this places.gdb, which I copied from the file that I downloaded and unzipped. And then here's the part 2 script that I just wrote for the previous part of this demonstration video. So if you go back to ArcGIS Pro and refresh the Python folder, now that we have copied that places.gdb from the downloaded file into our Python folder, if you hit refresh now, you should see there's a places.gdb there, and there's currently one feature class in there. And in this part of the video, we're going to try to copy this museum's feature class from the places.gdb into this empty places backup GDB that we just created in the last part of this exercise. So I'm going to go back to Spider here. And again, I'm going to start with a new file. And you can see it is empty. And similar to what I did for the previous part of this exercise, right, I'm going to import the ArcPy library. And then here's where I will specify, right, the location of the feature class that I want to copy over, right? As you may recall, it is in the Python folder in this places.gdb that I got from the downloaded file, and the name of the feature class is museums. And then I'm specifying the name of that should be assigned to the feature class that is being copied over. So as you can see, I'm basically saying that we're going to put that copied feature class in the Python folder within the places backup geodatabase, and we're going to call this feature class museums backup. And here I'm using the copy features tool and specifying where is the location, or what is the location of the original feature class, and what is the location of where that copied feature class should go, and as well as its name. And then it'll show me this message once the command is done. So like what I did previously, I'm going to go to File, save this, and I'm going to call this part 3. Hit save, and then run my command here. And you can see again in my console, it will tell me when feature class copied is done, and I'll just hit any key to continue. So now we go back to ArcGIS Pro and refresh the Python folder. You should see that there's this museums backup feature class that was created as a result of the script that we just wrote. Now in this next part of the exercise or demonstration, we're going to modify the schema by deleting one of the fields that is in that museums feature class. So before we proceed, make sure that you close out of ArcGIS Pro or any other program that is using the geodatabase that we created or the feature class to avoid a schema lock. And we don't need to save our changes. And we're going to go back to Spider and start with another new file. So once again, we're going to import the ArcPy library. And here I'm creating this variable called fc_dest, and specifying basically the location of the feature class where there's a field in that feature class that I want to delete. I also created this other variable called fc_free because it is the free field in the museum's backup feature class that I want to get rid of. Then I'm using the delete field function, or the delete field tool, to delete this free field within this museum's backup feature class that can be found at this location. And then here's the message that I should get when I'm done. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to call this part 4, hit save, and run my script. And again, as you can see in the console here, the free field has been deleted successfully. I'm going to press a key to continue. So now let me open once again ArcGIS Pro to check that the field has been successfully deleted indeed. So here we have ArcGIS Pro. I'm connecting, or I have connected to the Python folder that I was working in. And again, we see this places backup GDB, and here's a museums backup feature class. If I right click on it and go to design and look at fields, you can see that there's no longer a field that's called free in there because I just deleted it. So now that we have finished creating, right, a new backup geodatabase with a copy of the feature class that we need to back up, right, we need to actually write a script that will allow us to just press a button every day and it will automatically generate a daily backup for us. So before we continue, again, make sure you close out of ArcGIS Pro to avoid any schema lock. And I'm going to go back to Spider and once again start with a new script with file, new file. And here, as you can see, aside from just calling, right, the ArcPy library as we have done in the past, we also need to use some system libraries, right, like the date time library, which will allow us, right, to attach the current date and time to the name of each of the backup geodatabase that we're creating every day. So as you can see here, I've created a GDB path variable, right, to specify which is the folder where this backup geodatabase that will be created on a daily basis should go. And here's the name, right, for that geodatabase. But that's not good enough because we also need to, right, attach to this name the current date and time so that we can differentiate, right, one day's backup versus another day's backup. And so I'm also creating this today date variable, right, that contains the year, the month, and the day in which that backup geodatabase is created. And then as you can see here, right, this geodatabase that we're creating will not only, right, have will not only be called places backup.gdb, as you can see here, but actually it'll be renamed to places.gdb with today's date at the end and then .gdb. Right, and then here's a command that we already worked with in part 2 of this video, and then this is the message we should see when we're done running the script. So here, go ahead, save this, and we'll call this part 5 and run our script. Oh, this has been successfully completed. Hit enter to continue. So now let us open ArcGIS Pro again and connect to that Python folder that we have been working out of. And you can see inside that Python folder is this new backup geodatabase that was created with today's date at the end. This is necessary because we can't just keep creating backups, right, with the same name. And so by using those system libraries, like here the date time, we're able to create a unique geodatabase for each date. So this concludes this demonstration video, and I wanted to thank you for joining us. Please see the Geotech Center website at geotechcenter.org for more demonstration videos. Or to learn more, you can find other resources on the Geotech Center website, like model courses. My name is Wayne Cheung. I'm a professor of geography and GIS at Palomar College and also an assistant director with the Geotech Center. Thank you.